We've got classical fiat currencies that are, I don't even know how they're still working, and how it's amazing that every country around the world has been able to print as much as they have over the last, specifically 10 years, but really in the last couple of years, it's really amazing. And if you look at the infrastructure behind, not just the US, but other countries, it's a deck of cards that's swaying back and forth, just waiting for something to bring it down. All right, let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to a Missing Links short. Just want to talk about the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act that was put forward today by Senator Marshall and Warren, that is, I believe, being positioned as a response to everything that happened with the downfall at FTX, but in reality has nothing to do with it. That was more corporate malfeasance. This is outright surveillance. Basically what this does is anybody that's built an app in Web3 is newly categorized as a financial institution. So who cares? Coinbase, Kraken, all those guys are already classified as a financial institution. That's true. Well, DeFi, Uniswap, and others are not. And so this would require them to invoke or basically make every user go through AML, KYC. They would be ordered, or they would be required, I guess I should say, to take as much information as they can about their users, and they would have to give that up at will to any regulator that comes knocking on their door. The other thing too is that it doesn't really outline, other than classifying all these projects as financial institutions, what's going to happen to them in terms of if they're already decentralized, and who's responsible for enacting these kinds of requests. I mean, so look, for Zcash, I guess it's a little bit more straightforward than Monero, but if they're classified as a financial institution, does the community have to come together as a whole and basically put forward all this KYC and AML? And then, I guess it's the developers that contribute to these protocols that are going to be on the hook for any regulation that is not followed. So that's going to really, it's going to turn people away from contributing to these protocols, and rightfully so. I don't know that I would put myself out there. I wouldn't put my neck on the line if for contributing to a decentralized protocol if I knew that I could potentially be fined or go to jail or something like that. So, never let a good crisis go to waste. This is prime for that, because this bill, and I believe this is the bill that SBF was advocating on behalf of. But I suggest that you guys go check out Coin Center. They have a great article on it, and CoinDesk does too. Yeah, it's definitely, this goes through. It's going to change crypto as we know it. I mean, I think we kind of crossed that bridge when FTX went down over the last couple of weeks. But it's like, as I think it was Antigone and Sophocles that said, there's nothing in the world so demoralizing as money. And yeah, it feels like that these days. I mean, we've got classical fiat currencies that are, I don't even know how they're still working, and how it's amazing that every country around the world has been able to print as much as they have over the last, specifically 10 years, but really in the last couple of years, it's really amazing. And if you look at the infrastructure behind, not just the US, but other countries, it feels like it's a deck of cards that's swaying back and forth, just waiting for something to bring it down. And I'm not trying to be negative or pessimistic, but we've got these new rails that have been developed and tested over the last 10 years, and they've been through some pretty amazing things. ETH with its most recent transition from proof of work to proof of stake, and that went through pretty much flawlessly. Bitcoin hasn't changed at all, which I would say that is a benefit and adds value. Brock would argue against that, but I truly believe that Bitcoin, there can't be another Bitcoin, and I'm not a maxi or anything like that. I just think it's a hell of a instrument for savings. I would say sovereign savings, or savings on a larger level, like not to replace gold. Gold has its use, but anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. I think a lot of these chains have a use. I'm working with a client right now that uses Tezos, and I saw Tezos ICO back in I think it was 18. I hadn't really heard much since, but apparently there's a big NFT community there. Ripple, their case is going to come to a head. I think that there needs to be a transition between sort of the traditional fiat system and the new digital system. And I think Ripple's really well positioned to take that. ETH as a world computer makes perfect sense. Polkadot has a role in terms of, being a base layer, and then all these ZK projects that are going on and that are going to speed up transactions. I even think that Aptos, I look deeper into that. And I think for social media, it makes a lot of sense. And, Solana gets a lot of hate, but I got to say that they built their infrastructure perfectly for the financial industry, specifically, trading, Wall Street. They made some trade-offs that maybe we wouldn't have made in ETH, but ETH is more on the application layer, not so much on the high frequency, moving money quickly level. Anyway, this is a really important bill. This is a really important time for crypto in general. Shout out to Coin Center. They really, I don't know what the community would do without them. And we're very fortunate to have them. And, check it out and, let us know if you have any feedback and thoughts. And again, we'll be recording a regular episode later this week, but just wanted to talk about this bill. And so we'll talk to you soon.